you guys have any questions about the bot or features about it or anything in general relating it, just feel free to ask. Um, Herd the mobs. I mean, there's conditional attacks. For instance, if I go into my attack tab, I normally do this with AoEs on my mage. If you look right here, mobs around, and let's say you put it greater than, and you could select either if you want the mobs around yourself or your target. So you could put it yourself right here and change the radius, whatever your skills are. Normally, I would do about a 250, and let's say you are trying to herd, as you call it. You could put 15 mobs. So if it's greater than 15 mobs, it's going to use whatever skill it has. Now, what you could do is when you go into, where is it, combat zones, you can do a move using pathing, and you can just move around and add current ones wherever you are just by just hitting the current button and hitting add, and it'll add it, and then it kind of like draws like a path whichever way you're moving. So another current, another add, and so as you can see, the character is just kind of moving back and forth because that's like the pathing that we have currently set up. So let's delete these, put it back to manual. So you could have it kind of go around in an area, casting a skill every so often, and do it within like a movement of like a U line, whatever you draw. And so it is possible to do it. It may be a little bit harder to set up, but it is something it can do. Yeah, you could set it up to do like a big circle, follow the path. Now it doesn't loop. Let's say like what I've noticed, because I tried making a complete circle in one area, it doesn't get to the end of that circle and then like just skip over and continue on to the first starting point. It reverse backtracks the entire way back to wherever it started. So it's better for like running lines. Like if you're gonna like make like a loop somewhere, like a big U or something, like just look on the bot screen, it'd be easier. If you wanted to draw a line where it follows this right here and then it stops, it will backtrack all the way back to the beginning. That's how that works. It doesn't like complete the loop and just keep running it. It runs back and forth, back and forth. So you could do it that way where it's running back and forth, casting its hate skills, aggro, whatever you want it. And then once it has X amount of mobs on it, it could set conditions to use its attacks. It does kind of have like a collision setting here, avoid obstacles, where it kind of times out and like kind of like moves a little bit. And I mean that's just for the roaming. Now, when you draw like a map, like let's say I did a map like this. We zoom in a little bit so you can see the mobs here. See them well. Now you can see right here. This is a clear obstacle on the map. I don't even need to be there to tell that. So there's the map. It's filled in. This is a hunting zone. So now you go back to edit map. You go to detour zone, and you can kind of like draw like where to avoid, just like that, and hit it, and then now it puts it in red. So it will completely path around. If your character's right here, it will walk either way to avoid that obstacle to get to wherever it needs to be and kill. So it does have very good logic. So we go back to edit zone. You can add another detour. You get stuck in this tree constantly hunting this mob. So you just say around that tree, and the one that's inside that detour, it will ignore it. It doesn't care about that one mob. But since we're not hunting inside of a combat zone, we're letting it basically free roam here. This isn't needed, but it is possible to set up custom zones where it can avoid every obstacle there is. This little rock right here that you're getting stuck on, a tree, something stupid, you can set it up where it ignores it. So go back in here, clear the zone out. You go, when you set that zone up in there, you check off the map right here, and then make sure you're using the map that you drawn. Now, let's say that it keeps targeting something, a mob stuck in a tree, and you're not a mage like I am right now. Your character's constantly trying to fight this stupid mob in the tree. Change your Z limit. This is your up and down limit right here. If you put it at a 75, I mean, that's pretty much your character's height. If it's taller than your character's head, it's not going to go for it. If it's below it, it's not going to go for it. So you can just play with your Z limits. By default, it's at 150. And, I mean, this calcs, like, these mobs right here. Since they're lower, it normally wouldn't go for them if it's standing right here, because their Z limits were changed at that 75. But at 150, it should have no issues going for them. So, back to manual. You can set up your target search. Like, let's say there was that well, let's look in the bot. You can click on visible NPCs, and this will show you all NPCs that are within the area. And you can just check off like which ones you don't want, or to don't attack, or to set a very high priority. Let's say that they give you something special for killing them, and a lot of people are going for them. You can set it where they're on the highest priorities and counterattacks, where your character will like pretty much go out of its way to hunt these things every time. This is normally good for like dimensional boxes, stuff like that. I normally have alerts set up for things of that nature to let me know that this special NPC that I hardly see spawns. Which you could do the alert in the event tab under NPC. You can type in a name or its ID. I have not been to any katas or necros here. This is a very custom server, lots of custom everything. They do have areas, but most of the HP of just about every mob, it's been changed. Everything has 1,000,000 life, if you look at it right here. Now, some of their defenses are equally up to par with the crazy amount of life, but this area seems like to be normal, where a character with my grade gear should be able to kill it just as quick. So I'm trying to hit 80. They got some some type of items here in your inventory for being a newbie, where they give you free S80, 84 gear. Actually, I think it was 84, so I think I have to wait. They constantly get these little notifications, which you can click don't show, tell you more about it. And I think I'm killing enough where I want to kind of go into a more deeper, dangerous area, which I do remember. I wish I had mounts and stuff like that. So as I was saying, for newer people, this is the L2 Adrenaline bot from l2bot.eu. The bot is $20 USD per month. It is a 30-day license key bot. Supports 99% of all servers out there. Bypasses lane guards, frost, pretty much everything. So this looks like a more populated area. We'll turn the bot back on here. Zoom in, as you can see, we're drawing a lot of aggro, maybe a little bit too much. Yeah, a little bit too much. You just heard that a little ping right there. That's my death event. And I believe I have it set up in the self heals. When the character's dead, go back to town. So let's rebuff and head back out there, but let's not run dead center into the death zone. Where are you going? Stop it. If I was still running, trying to go somewhere. So we're back in here. Turn back on the bot. And just kind of, right now it's pretty much on a free roam setting in the bot. It doesn't have any like restriction on its combat zone, so it does kind of just wander wherever it wants and kills. Let's put a higher priority here, because we are getting more damage, to prioritize its Vamp Claw. So if my HP percent less than 90 and the target's HP is greater than 0, actually we'll put this to 95. So as you can see in here,